We got to get Eamon to start announcing them, door open.
Just play that Darius Rucker, I'll be all right.
So let's talk about the 2-point plays and just how important those were in the grand scheme of things. Aaron was talking to you, officially 3 of 6 in the red zone, but he thought of it as 3 of 9, just with how important those 2-point conversions were. You were obviously played a big part in one of them. Just how big were those in the grand scheme of things?
I think they actually helped us win. Alex had a big stop, and then obviously I had the one in the fourth quarter. But those are critical situations that you put yourself in. You're like, okay, what can we do to not let them get this? And I think that you have to expect the ball to come your way. You have to expect it to be on you. And one thing people don't notice is when you're in the game, critical situations like that, guys sometimes like pray that the play don't come their way, and just to put yourself in on that big stage is like, for me, I was like, okay, the ball come my way, I have to make the play, especially like I said, situations like that is key. And I think that I give all the credit to the offense for that game, but in those situations that we had on 2-point conversions, I think played a big part. And without everybody communicating and willing to fight for each other, that wouldn't happen. So
since you mentioned it a little bit different, you guys have been on the field so much in those late game situations. Just what was it like, that final 150 on the sideline? Really, you don't have any part in what's going to happen, and just what were you feeling during that time?
It felt a little weird. It reminded me of college, because I remember when I was in college, we had those situations where like defense would be off and then offense had to go out and drive. So I was kind of used to it, but it was funny because offense was up, minute 15 left, and I'm on the field, really. Like, should have got a penalty for it, but I'm still on the sideline, and I look back and I see a bunch of guys on the bench, and Jared Goff had that drive, and I was telling somebody else, I think it was Levi sitting next to me, and I just heard a huge thump. I was like, what was that? And I looked, and St. Brown caught the ball, and as I looked back at the bench, there's nobody there, and there were just about 50 guys on the bench, right? And I looked back, and everybody just on the field storming. I was looking for my helmet. I'm like, where's my? And I was like, forget the helmet, I'm gonna celebrate. But it was a great moment. Great moment.
You talked a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it was, about Alex sort of helping you along with some of the calls, making those calls along with him. Aaron said today there will be some packages with you and Josh. There are the 2 linebackers out there this week. So I guess now that you're being trusted with that, what more is on your plate, and how much are you looking forward to having, wearing that defensive headset for whatever it may be this week?
I'm kind of confused about it. You saying just
I don't know how much more is on your plate wearing the defensive headset, relating those calls, sort of taking that leadership role if there's in some of those packages where maybe you and Josh as the 2 linebackers.
Right, I would just say communication, watching extra film, kind of getting the feel of how we both play together. Coach throws us in there together, and we communicate a certain way. I think that's the biggest key. When everybody knows what's going on in the field, it kind of just comes to you. We talk about that. We talk about that day in and day out communication. I know when Alex is in there, he kind of tells me, like, help me with the calls. That's very important to play linebacker, like I mentioned a couple months ago. Like I said, communication is just the biggest key, and just taking on a bigger role. I think I just have to hone in on the small things. Kind of know what I need, like in my coverage. What I need to match. Like, what is the calls? What is this guy doing outside of me? So help me play better. So I think it's just things like that.